Lerato shared with us of his a powerful experience of having got in trouble with the law as a young person and deciding that when he came out of prison he needed to change his ways and to find a way to be in the world that didn't involve crime. And he shared with us a story of the role that wilderness experience played in supporting him on that path. What was most powerful for me was how he had chosen that path for himself, and then the role that the wilderness experience, both through Pride of Table Mountain and then as an intern with Educo Africa.
Like any other boy that grows up in the township, facing like challenges around poverty and so on, peer pressure, and then I became part of the gang, and I think me being part of the gang, I thought that I knew, I thought that I'm the man, and and again it was around like being wanted to be recognized in my community, and then there was that sense of when I was with my friends, I felt like I belong here, and then belong here in a way that we could relate into what we were doing. We will smoke together, we will go and steal together, and we have done this as as boys growing up in a township, but then that got out of hand because then we started like smoking heavy drugs, like patins, doing patins, and then we found out that the money that we're robbing from the local, like if we steal a crate of case of Coca-Cola drinks and go and sell it, it doesn't give us enough money. Then we went high, in like, let's go and start robbing white people now, and then we started breaking the houses of white people. And then one day I got arrested when we broke a house in Musikberg. And yeah, I think for me that was a turning point of my life, because then I knew that I've done something wrong and I need to face my actions, I need to, like, action consequences, So what I've been doing, I have to pay it off. And like the first day I got arrested, I started like trying to point fingers at people, like my mother, she drinks and but then as I was there, I realized that my mother never sent me there. I had a place where I can say no, but I think because of the peer pressure, I didn't want to say no, because I chose to not say no, because I might not be welcomed in my community, or I might not be welcomed by my friends, and they won't see me as part of them because I'm doing my own thing and they are doing their own thing. So part of like wanting to belong, I had to do any activity that my group has to do. Yeah. So then, when I was in Portsmouth, yeah, amazing stuff happened to me. As I step into that place, one thing that came very strongly to me is that I'm tired of being a gang. I'm tired of listening to other people about my life. And as I walk in there, I was like, I'm not gonna join gang. And it's something that I stand firm and true to it. That I want to be me. I want to be Lerato, and not be the Lerato that follows what other people are saying. And yeah, as I step in there, the first question, normal question, who's Jay? Who are you? And I will respond loudly and say, I'm a Scon France, I know nothing, in Xhosa we say Mpata, I guess Mampara, and then I think sitting in that space, I understood more that this is who am I, I don't have to have a number or a badge or be attached in a certain gang. I need to be attached to myself. I need to start claiming my life back. And as these questions came to my head, asking who are you, and what is your purpose in life, I think when I look at that, I'm kind of like to say, I found the light on the other side of the tunnel, because I had to go through Portsmouth and stay in a solitary cell for 5 days thinking about these questions and trying to answer them. And I think for me, somehow I got angry with the fact that I couldn't answer the question, who am I? Whereas I thought I knew who am I. I thought I knew who am I when I'm with the crowd, But then I couldn't say who am I when I was alone, And I had to go deep in me and to find that answer. And I think in finding that answer, what was unique and beautiful was that I understood that I'm a human being like any other human being that makes mistakes. And for me, I need to create a space to reflect from the experience that I went through and draw learnings from that so that I can be able to journey forward. and and it was even more when I came across the mountains, because I found a place where I can sit under a shady spot and find a rock and listen to the river flowing and answer that question, like motivated and like really saying, I'm sure about it. This is who am I. This is me. I'm Lerato, and I'm here to grow. And part of growth is making those mistakes, stepping into a place of unknown, and debriefing and reflecting from that. And I think that's what the mountains have brought into my being. So like at first I had an opportunity from the school that I used to attend. My maths teacher called me and asked me if I want to go to this mountain experience, and my response was like, no, because I'm not exposed to mountains, and I think it's white people stuff. And yeah, and then when I went, I was blown away. Actually, it was like a wow moment for me. Yeah, so at first, like I was like, I don't want to go to the mountains, I don't. And then my teacher came back again and said, Lerato, we need 60 people, and then yeah, and ended up going to Table Mountain, and then we hiked. And when I saw the mountains, when I felt the spirit of the mountains, I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to take the wilderness and use it as a classroom to bring healing to young people's life from my society, from my community, from disadvantaged areas. And when I came back from the mountains, something huge happened. Something around me believing to myself more and wanting to go and change people's lives and like offer what needs to be offered, so that like a space whereby I don't have to guide them or lead them, but a space where they can feel free to guide their journey and grow from that. And so when I went back, I was like, I want to do this. I want to work with young people and like use the wilderness as a classroom, which I ended up doing, because after that I worked for Echuku for 5 years, Echuku Africa, which is like an outdoor an outdoor experiential education organization based in Plumstead. I worked for them for 5 years, and then I did my internship with them. And I think at this time things were becoming more clear that this is what I want to do. So I started facilitating leadership programs using the wilderness as a teacher, and how we will conduct our workshops or like experiences. Will take young people from the townships and then give them the experience of being up in the mountains. And what we'll do from day one, we'll just buy food and then put food, everything out, and then we said it's their responsibility how they're going to distribute the food and how they're going to pack their backpacks. And for me, what was so powerful about that is that everything, we tried to find meaning to everything that we were doing. For an example, if you're carrying a backpack in the mountains, the first day you carry that backpack is heavy, because it's got tin stuff and everything and rice and everything. But the minute you take a packet of rice, the bag becomes lighter. So if you take that into human nature, the more you speak about your problems, the more you become lighter into your life. So finding that it's like a unique way of working with young people, and it makes sense and they can relate to it because it's something that they go through it and they experience it. It's not like a teacher standing in front of the class and lecturing them, but it's something that they go through it by themselves. So now I'm working for an organization called Mamelane, and I must say, wow, it's like home. I feel like I'm at home. It's a beautiful place for me to be. I work with youth now, youth that grew up in the homestead, and then when they are turning 18 years old, they are no longer under government care. So we will go there and prepare them for the independent living skills. So we bring in wilderness when we heard that they're gonna live in that year. So we'll go there and we'll bring the wilderness as a place to mark where they are, where they come from, and then when they are going, where they're going. So as they are about to exit the homestead, we will come in and talk about them living in that year. And most of the time, the fear comes up, because the fear of like where I am gonna go after this, what is life for me after this homestead life. So we prepare them, we go there and we talk about that, and then we'll take them to the wilderness, whereby we give them a space to think, to think about where they come from and where they want to be in life. And then like our first day will be like having fun and just being boys and really like go deep in our in the boy that we know that lives within us. And then from there we'll go into process whereby we'll send them out to so that they can vision about the way forward, where they see themselves. And then we'll carry that with us when we come back, and then we'll guide them around what is it that the young man wants to achieve. And we'll put that in their IDPs, which is the individual development plan. So we kind of like link what happened in the wilderness into the reality of what needs to take place in their life so that they can grow, you know. Yeah. I also assist when the Xhosa boys want to go to initiation, or when they want to go to the bush. So I'll assist with that and like go and do a family visit and then give advice where it's needed and talk to the father or any parent that is in the house about the young man going to the bush. And then when they come back, we receive them. Sometimes we go out and like really talk more about how it is now to be a man and what are the responsibilities and the expectations around him being a man. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I think in this workshop I've been made to be aware that there is no man is an island. I cannot do this work alone. You know, I need to connect with other people that are doing the similar work that I'm doing. And so the networking, I was just talking now in another the discussion that we had now in smaller groups that, sometimes we say, like sometimes we take young people to the wilderness and then they got this experience, this wonderful experience. But then when you come back, what takes place? So maybe a young man wants to do an engineering course. We don't have that in our organization. But if we link with an organization that does the same thing, then when that boy comes from the mountains, his dream is not gone because I can link him with Isiko so that they can assist him in his leadership skills. I can link him with Cape Nature so that he can be exposed in environmental if that's his line of his career, or that's his line that he wants to, that's something that he wants to do as he grow up. So I think that's one thing that I'm really taking from, it's like the networking and knowing that we cannot work in isolation when we're doing this kind of work. We need to be like working in like in the same environment and like, yeah, assisting each other and helping each other. And I think that's something that is very powerful, yeah. So I'm really thankful and grateful for this opportunity and for the workshop. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
And you guys just keep talking for a bit.
Now we pretend to keep chatting.
Oh, okay.